Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
For every veteran, there is a story about a calling to serve, to fight for the freedoms of the American people. And every story has a struggle, a sacrifice, and invisible wounds. Warrior Watts programs help veterans recover from PTSD and invisible wounds through exercise, nutrition, and connecting with other veteran leaders. It is estimated that 22 veterans die each day by suicide, and another 30 veterans die each day by substance abuse. These are preventable deaths. Warrior Watt is committed to fighting PTSD through fitness, nutrition, and community. Got the privilege and opportunity to support our heroes in their time of need. Will you join us and take action?
All right. Welcome back. MisFitNation. We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their story to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share some of your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you're a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and share how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you're a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and just share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or are embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you're a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast apps and also on our YouTube channel at @_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date with our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show. All right. Welcome to our Sunday night show. It's been a great week. Finished up our work out in the woods with soldiers and actually able to focus more on the show now that things are back to normal here. Tonight we have a good one. In the news lately, all you hear is the thoughts and the concerns with artificial intelligence. Well, our next guest, he's a thought leader in AI and startups who has impacted over 10 million lives and generated over $500 million in value. With experience working with clients like Microsoft and IBM, he's spoken at the UN alongside the Secretary General and Nobel Peace Prize winner, and his work has been mentioned by President Obama and Bill Gates. With 4 patents in AI, he's the perfect person to learn from about how AI can benefit you all. So without further ado, let's welcome Manuj Aggarwal to the Misfit Nation. Welcome, Manuj.
Thank you so much. Excited to be here. Thanks.
It's great for us to connect, and I know we had a couple hiccups along the way with your schedule to get you here, but we got you here now, and you're coming to us live from Vancouver. It's a little cooler there than it is here, so thankfully, hopefully you bring some of that cool air to us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry about all the smoke that's coming to the US from the Canadian fires, but it has been very intense this year, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty big. That's the first time in my lifetime I've ever seen that, so that's pretty horrible. I'm sure the people up there, like you just said, you're sorry about the smoke, but I'm sure the people up there who's been affected by the fire itself would like it to end as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Manuj, I gave about basically a 2-sentence brief on you right there. If you could just expand a little further into more about you from as far back as you want to go, how you got into the AI world and basically helping startups and business, and to how we got here, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So my journey started in India. I used to work in a factory for $2 a day, and I wanted to change my life. I wanted to do something different, and I found a way to increase my value through a valuable skill, which at that point turned out to be technology. So I found myself enrolled in a computer programming course, and I learned a lot about computers, and it fascinated me. And so I guess there was slight luck involved as well at that time, because the internet boom was just sort of coming up. And during that period, I came to North America. I got a job very easily because .com boom was in full flow. And I also lost multiple jobs rapidly in the following years because of several events which were outside of my control. So, .com bust happened, and then September 11th happened. And so that sort of forced me into entrepreneurship, and I started my consulting company, and I started working with many startups, and then started a project with Microsoft, Pearson Education. And during all those times, it's always good to stay ahead in the game of technology, to continue to learn more, continue to see what else is happening. And people with passion for their work, generally they are that way. Like, they are always looking for the next big thing. So we work with every latest technology as it comes out, like blockchain, artificial intelligence, and those type of things. What ended up happening was we did quite a few projects with artificial intelligence, but also through my own personal journey, I had a few challenges in my personal life. It led me down the path of meditation and understanding human psychology and neuroscience. And I started seeing a lot of parallels between these two fields: neuroscience, how our mind works, and artificial intelligence. So those were the crossover solutions that we found very fascinating to help individuals as well as corporations. So that's sort of what we work on: use that knowledge to implement solutions in artificial intelligence. It has been really a cool experience, solving some really interesting problems using artificial intelligence. I can talk about that.
Awesome. AI is fascinating to me. I tested a little bit with that chat GPT stuff, just throwing in a sentence and see what will come out. And it'll come out with paragraphs and paragraphs just based off one sentence I write in there. After it kind of gets a feel for what I think like, and then just goes with it. So it's a pretty cool thing there. And I know the military, our military, your military in Canada is also using it. The military in India is way ahead of a lot of countries with using AI as well to, I guess, think forward on the battlefield to see what your enemy might do and what better solution might be used by the military. So there's lots of uses for AI that aren't, I guess, horrific like the world, many people in the world think it will be. And because if you don't, people fear what they don't know, and that's what I think the cause of a lot of this.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to harp on this here, but you worked in the factory for $2 a day in India. Was that when you were still a youngster, or were you an adult already? And then you just
I was started working at 15.
15.
So yeah. So worked through like until about 18 or 19, and then I got married, and then yeah, it till 19 I was working in a factory, but after that, like, I started getting into computers and programming.
Nice. At least you were able to find your path out. I know a lot of people probably didn't make that path out of there, and probably still suffer doing that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thankfully, you've seen the light and moved out and moved up to North America, to Canada there, and you got into this world that we're in now. So now I'll let you just dive into AI and try to break it down so the audience understands that it is not bad and what it actually can do for us.
Sure. So maybe let's quickly define what AI is, because a lot of people have this misconception, and thanks to how it has been portrayed in Hollywood, it has not left a good impression on people. So AI basically is a way to recognize patterns in our daily life. Our human mind is designed to recognize patterns. So let's say if you touch a hot stove, you only need to touch it once to know that I don't want to touch it again, right? But then let's say you create a more complex scenario where you are in the middle of Antarctica and it's really, really cold, and you're wearing heat resistant gloves, and now you touch the stove, it actually feels a little bit warm and pleasant. So now your mind is smart enough to know, okay, touching the stove is not that bad when certain other parameters are in place. So our human mind can sort of understand these 3, 4, 5 parameters, and it can learn from it. But let's say if you're trying to solve a very complex problem, like solve climate change or find cure for cancer or whatever, there are billions and billions of parameters involved in that, right? So our human mind cannot comprehend this kind of complexity, but machines can understand it. They can ingest like huge amounts of data and then find those patterns in the data. And so that is the reason why it is powerful, because it can do the thinking part and sort of connecting the dots much more efficiently and faster and better. Does that make sense?
Oh, it definitely does to me. Yes.
Okay. So that is the tool that we can use to solve real world problems now. So now, what was the follow-up question you had? Sorry.
How do you, just to kind of stop the fear of it?
Yeah.
People are so afraid of it.
Okay. So let's talk. Yeah. So let's talk about two main fears that people have, right? One is that AI will take over humanity and kill everybody. So the idea is that it's like it's like AI is like a tool, just like electricity or gasoline, something along those lines, right? Now, we use it so often in our lives that our life has become dependent upon them. But it is not to say that electricity has taken over our life, right? It doesn't have an agenda that, I will now kill humanity. Even if I say, okay, because AI is intelligence, it can develop that kind of tendency. Humans are the ones, we think like that because we think if we become so intelligent and powerful, our first job will be to eliminate other people. That's how we think. But that's centuries of trauma, suppression, jealousy, all these things, what we have in our human sort of psychology, right? But AI is just unemotional intelligence. So it cannot develop that ambition, that jealousy to say, oh, you know what, humans are consuming like too much resources on this planet, let's just get rid of them. It needs a certain cause, reason that is strong enough for them to behave that way. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. It's like I don't know if you've seen the movie Jexy that just came out on Netflix a little while ago. That is exactly what you just said. People thinking that the phone took over and was ruining the guy's life. Jexy took it over. Where you can throw Siri in there, whatever you call the voice on your phone. If you let that phone take over your world, it's because you let that phone take over your world.
Yeah.
Not because it had the emotions, like you said, to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's a great
So,
point.
so that's one. And then the second thing that people are afraid of is jobs. So it will take away all the jobs. Now, what will happen is jobs will be displaced, and a job will be displaced by people who can understand AI and use AI. So, meaning AI is not going to take away your job. Somebody who understands and uses AI will take away your job because they will be much more efficient and accurate, right? So I'll give you a quick example. When in 1993 or so, email and internet was just coming up, if you talk to an average person and said, hey, do you need a website, do you need an email address, they'll say, no, I have my yellow pages, I have my white pages, I'm good.
Right.
It didn't make sense then. But today, I mean, not even today, but just around year 2000, just 6 years later, if you did not have an email address, you could not even apply for an entry-level job, right? So it's the same thing now, that AI is going to enhance our ability to communicate, to do things. And if somebody becomes more efficient doing that, somebody who refuses to use it will be not very competitive anymore. And so, and the end result will be they will be out of job. So again, it is up to us to take advantage of this opportunity or ignore it and face the consequence.
Definitely. And then also when social media came out, people thought it was the devil. Social media is the devil. It's only the devil if you let it be the devil. Instead of entry-level jobs with email, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile now and you apply for a job, you're going to be pushed aside as well, because that LinkedIn profile is how they really dig deep into who you are and what you have done.
Absolutely.
So it's if you can adapt to change and adapt to the changes that are happening, both with AI, machine learning, whatever you want to call anything that's happening, you have to be able to adapt as well, and you'll be all right.
Exactly.
So when did you know that you became this global thought leader? When was the first bell that went off, or the first person that contacted you said, hey, Manuj, we need you to come talk to us?
Well, I mean, this is a tricky thing, right? Like, I don't even understand what global thought leader means, because my thoughts are normal thoughts.
Right.
And it seems like when I talk to people and share my thoughts, they are interesting to them. And the other thing is, I've shared my thoughts with some true thought leaders, like the former director of CIA, General Petraeus, like these level of people. And I guess that's the interesting thing that happened to me when I was able to communicate with them and had a good understanding of where they were coming from. I was able to convey, what I see, and have these exchanges. Like on my podcast, like I have interviewed more than 300 really solid people. So those type of things made me realize that, okay, we all have something to share. We all have something to say. My specialty happens to be technology and artificial intelligence. And I think about these technologies in a certain humanistic way, because of my background, because of my experience. And that's what I think people found interesting.
Definitely. And I think, like you said, your background, you come from humble beginnings too, real humble beginnings. And if people understand what you went through to realize that you need to get into the computers and learn the .com stuff, to learn all this stuff to move forward, that's probably why they reach out and say, hey, Manuj, let's sit down, let's have a Coke, let's talk about this, or a coffee, whatever you drink, and let's hang out and let's find out, let's do a little mind meld and see where we can go from here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drop General Petraeus' name. You have Bill Gates. Bill Gates is also talked about you, President Obama. So you've had some pretty good elbows to rub with. So I'm sure.
Yeah, I want to clarify a few things, right? So they didn't mention me by name because I mean I'm still there's way too much distance between me and those personalities. But a project that we worked on directly, we delivered. That's what they mentioned, because it had such a big impact on millions of students that they mentioned that project. So that was a link between me and these people.
It's still a good link though to have, and to have them in your corner.
Yeah.
So what do you think? We've already, I think we talked about the jobs thing. We talked about it taking over humanity. is there a simple way to maybe calm the fears of those who are afraid of technology, really, and make them see that it can help them? Is it maybe giving them a tablet with, say, something like Chat GPT on there, let them just play with that a little while to show that it won't kill them and it will actually help them?
So the interesting thing is that a lot of people don't realize it, that AI is already in our lives everywhere. Okay, so we are recording this show live and we are streaming it on like multiple platforms, including radio and all of that. Everything underneath the covers is being controlled by AI, right? That is the reason why we are talking to each other in high definition, in real time. I mean, even 10 years ago, this would have not been possible, right? You take out the device that is all, we all carry a device in our pocket. Everything on that device is controlled by AI, right? Yeah. So this is a misnomer that, okay, AI will come and it will happen. It is already here. We are already in it. And so the fear is about the next level of enhancement, because ChatGPT has shown us that the realm of human beings is of thought. We value thinking. So meaning all the CEOs in the world, like people who make the big bucks, they are paid the big bucks because they can think of solutions of difficult problems, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, now you cannot compete with a machine with an IQ of 1000. So that has tilted the scales of competitiveness of even human beings. Like I can come up with solutions now using ChatGPT or AI that probably could have taken like at least $10 million in 2 or 3 years ago. You see what I'm trying to say? So that's the thing that people need to realize, the opportunity that exists rather than the fear, because that fear is what will keep them from taking that leap, right? Imagine again, I try to use analogies from history. So people who are old enough to remember when the internet was just coming out, there was a big fear about Y2K.
Oh yeah.
People thought, when Y2K happens, like everything is going to shut down. We're not going to have any groceries in the grocery store. And so people who were afraid never even touched the internet or technology, right? In the meantime, guys like Jeff Bezos, they started an e-commerce company and became the richest person in the world within 15 years?
Less than that, yeah.
Okay. So that's the opportunity now, but just like 100 times more, 100 times bigger, right? So I don't try to put my thoughts in other people. I just try to show them, okay, this is what happened last time. So if you missed the boat, there is another boat coming, but don't miss this one just because you missed the previous one.
Don't fall off the boat because you were afraid.
Yeah.
So you talked about meditation earlier. That's a big thing with a lot of our audience here, because a lot of them look for ways to deal with trauma that they dealt with in the military or in life even. Mm-hmm. So meditation is really good for that. So how do you combine meditation? What does meditation and AI have in common, really?
That's a very interesting question. What happens with meditation, first of all, I think everybody, and especially, the reason why I was so excited about this show, because I have looked into the conditions of veterans. I was talking about General Petraeus, like he's very, very passionate about veterans. So he does a lot of work for veterans. So when I was like talking to him, then I realized how big of a problem this is. Like 18 million veterans in US, and and their state of mind, and it's like I cannot even imagine going from a very structured environment to a to this world, crazy world. So, and this is all related to it, because what happens is that with meditation, and I do recommend anybody listening, please, if you don't meditate, start your meditation practice, because I think that will change your life. If you're going through certain challenges, whatever challenges those are, meditation is the key. So with meditation, what happens is our life is controlled by our emotional subconscious mind. 95% of our actions are controlled by our subconscious mind. But the problem is we behave like we are the rational 5% of the mind, and we make logical decisions. That's not true at all. But with meditation, you can start to observe this sort of this dance of emotional reactions to things. And with AI, what we can do is we can create those emotions. We can sort of feel those emotions, because now we are able to express ourselves in a better way. Maybe I'll try to explain it if I can. Our emotions are based on how we communicate to ourselves or to others, telling those stories. And the problem is that we have not been taught how to communicate properly as human beings, right? So now with tools like AI, ChatGPT, I can express my emotions in a way that will make sense to you and vice versa. So now I can feel that energy exchange, which sort of leads to a meditative state of mind, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense to me, 100%. Audience, any questions, just send them in the comments, or you can call in. We have our number. Our phones are open and working tonight. So if you have questions for Manuj on AI, meditation, on how he has helped businesses grow, just chime in. He's here for you tonight. Don't let this opportunity go away. So, Manuj, you also, like I just said about business, when you started helping businesses reach their potential, how did that happen, and how many businesses do you think you have helped over time?
See, my passion has been innovation and technology. So, we have helped so many, like hundreds of startups through advice, through mentorship, resources. 2 of the startups we helped went public within 2 years and 5 years. One product in particular, we worked with Pearson Education, which is a Fortune 500 company. It went from $0 to $500 million annual revenue within 5 years. So all these projects were really exciting, and had a lot of fun doing those. And the idea was to sort of, just continue to learn about different industries, different geographies, different economies, how people work, what are the things, what are the solutions work in different industries. And now the idea is to bring those learnings from multiple industries and add artificial intelligence on top of it to really accelerate even at a more exponential scale for people who want to grow using these technologies.
Outstanding. Get to go from that short period of time to go from a startup to being listed to a Fortune 500 company. That's amazing. And for you to have you probably say you only have a small part in it, but I'm sure your part was a lot bigger to the person that you helped than you believe it was.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that helped them out more than you'll ever. Well, I'm sure I'm sure they write you still as a hey.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like we just caught up. Like the person I worked with at Pearson Education, I just met him like 3 weeks ago, and we were talking about the crazy times he had to go through. It was a crazy time, because you get to learn behind the scenes how these big operations are done. And I'm sure you must have similar stories in being in the military, how you overcome certain challenges or certain missions that were difficult. It's the same exact thing.
And I'm sure the fruits and rewards are still the same on both sides too. When you have a successful mission, you're amped up, you're pumped. And for the business person, if you make it past that first year where most businesses either tilt or canter or fall apart, and they go either up or down, if you go up, that has to be a beautiful thing to see right there.
Exactly.
And on your profile, it asks, you have a question on there. Why is it important to travel? I know why I like to travel. I want to hear your reason why traveling is important.
The key is to train your mind to see different perspectives, because the problem is that main thing why people don't grow or they have challenges in life, because they get locked up in their own mindset, and then they cannot see a different point of view. And our society is set up in this way, like industrialized society is set up this way, that we don't get an opportunity to look outside of our industry. So our thought process becomes very narrow-minded. So when you travel, you look at the world from many different angles. You start to see possibilities. You start to see opportunities, and that is one exercise I've seen which is enjoyable. Because when I tell people, "Hey, meditate," they say, "I don't have time for that," or yoga. And these kind of like things are considered boring, and sort of, I have to make an effort to do that. But traveling is something fun. So it's like, okay, how do you stimulate your mind? And that's how I think about traveling. And the other thing is you get to, meet different kind of people, make new friends, experience new food. Food is such a innate experience in our evolution. So we need to have that variety of food.
I was going to say, I was going to throw in food before you even said it. 'Cause every country I've been to, I tried their food while talking to the people. I think that's the best way to get engulfed into engrossed into their culture.
Absolutely.
You go there with a closed mind. No, I'm not going to eat that. Not going to eat that. Oh, get away from me. Don't talk to me. That smells horrible. Just go and do it. And in Korea, I ate worms, silkworms. I ate them. They gave me oh, these are great. These are wonderful. Yeah. I never would have tried them before if I was not in Korea.
Yeah.
There's always you gotta just get into the culture and do what you got to do to learn. Like you said, expand your mind, expand your horizons, understand more than that little box you live in.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the best place you've been to?
I love New Zealand. New Zealand was great, even though like it was very similar to Canada, but it had a different feel. Like, especially I went after watching Lord of the Ring movies, right? Like, so it has like a sort of an impact on you. And when you see the actual places where they shot those scenes, like it's fascinating how how much impact a movie can have on a particular travel destination. But yeah, no, New Zealand was great. And then I think Europe has been such a rich continent to visit, like so much history there. But yeah, I mean, growing up in Asia, like I've seen multiple contrasts. I haven't visited Africa. That's where I want to go next. So
that's on our list too, as a family to head there. We don't know where in Africa. We'll probably just throw a dart and try to find someplace safe and go there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do what we can there and just to experience something different. Yeah. I think that's the best thing to do. We took our daughter to China, to Thailand when she was 11 and 12 years old. Mm-hmm. So she got to see something way different than the United States at a young age and appreciate things more when she came back.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
This next question is probably a curveball for you. But what is the fastest and sure shot way to become a millionaire?
See, the first thing is that a lot of people don't know what success looks like. So if success looks like $1 million, okay, what are you going to do with that $1 million? I mean, the problem is that people only look at the number, but they don't look at what actually they want to do with that $1 million. Or when you start to ask them, okay, here is $1 million, what are you going to do? They'll say, okay, I'll take a vacation or I'll buy a home. And okay, okay, that you've done that. Now you have some more money left over. What are you going to do? And then, you just take like 2 or 3 steps after that. They have no idea, what are they actually going to do and who are they going to do it with? So when you do a little bit of an exercise, you start to realize, oh, actually, I would like to spend more time with my family. And so if you start to work your life towards that goal, and then there is another exercise we do with people. It's based on this concept called Ikigai in Japan, which basically gives you your life purpose in terms of what you're good at and what the world needs, and how you can make an income while doing the work that you like to do. So once you understand what success looks like and you find your life purpose using Ikigai, you put those together and then you take action every day to gain, sort of work on that life purpose. Life becomes so easy. Life becomes so serendipitous that things start to happen, and before you know it, you get to your destination.
Start having fun doing it, so it's good.
Yeah.
You said you may hit that $1 million, but what are you going to do with it? What do you do when you hit 1 million?
Yeah.
Right now, that's probably going to pay off a house and a couple cars. So with the cost of everything now, but if you want to make it bigger, you have to keep that focus and be happy with what you're doing. Find that life purpose, and when you wake up every morning, knowing that that's what you want to do.
Exactly.
Don't be miserable.
Yeah. Exactly.
So Manuj, we talked about a lot of things here in a quick period, 30 minutes really. What 3 tips would you give the entrepreneur that's in the audience right now who wants to start their business and doesn't know which way to go, but they know they need to get into technology to do this? What 3 tips would you give them to get out of their own way and get moving forward?
So first of all, create a list of what your core values are. Core values are your belief systems and your what you stand for. And again, these are related to the exercises I mentioned earlier, Ikigai and all of that. And then start to show up on social media, online with those core values. Like, you are doing this show, you're putting yourself out there, Rich, right? So like you are, and you noticed a problem, a gap in the market, and you're filling that gap by putting yourself out there. That's taking a stand. So when you take a stand, then people start to notice you, and whoever your crowd is, whoever your tribe is, they will find you. And then once you have trust with them, you can build any kind of business. The trust is the most important thing today. If you can figure out how to earn that trust from your fan base, then you can turn around and sell your expertise, your experience, your knowledge. Guy like Elon Musk, any person you see, like Elon Musk is selling rockets, he's selling cars, he's selling tequila. People just buy it, right? So that's the thing. Put yourself out there. Yeah. So find your core values, put yourself out there, and then just basically serve people with your knowledge and experience. If you continue to do these 3 things, automatically opportunities start to fall in place, because somebody will say, oh, you helped me with this tremendous thing. Okay, I'm doing this project. Somebody will really can use your help with this. And then before you know it, you'll find 3 people asking you. And before you know it, you'll have, oh, okay, I'm good at that. Okay, so let me launch a business about this. So that's one way of doing it, because a lot of people don't know how to, they get confused. Okay, what do I do? But it's as simple as that. Just find your core values, put yourself out there, start helping people.
Definitely, those are perfect ones. They're your core values. Put yourself out there and help people with your passion, to use your expertise to help them get ahead in life and do the best they can. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Manuj, how does someone get in contact with you to maybe talk to you about the same stuff we talked about, have you on their show, or maybe get into your mind and see if you can help their business?
Yeah, the best thing will be go to LinkedIn, drop me a connection request, let me know you heard me on this show, or go to my website, manujaggarwal.com, and you can connect through that website as well.
All right, the website is going across the bottom right now, and LinkedIn will be LinkedIn, and then his actual name spelled out after the end. So, Manuj, thank you for taking some of your time on this Sunday night to hang out with us and teach us a lot more about AI, and hopefully stop some of the fears out of the audience.
Yeah, I hope it helps. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and you have a good night.
You too. Thanks.
In October 2019, Arlington, Texas was chosen to be the home of a new national museum, unlike any other. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a unique home of military history. The 100,000 square foot museum will house exhibits, archives, and artifacts relating to the 3,500 U.S. troops who have been awarded the medal, the nation's highest honor for valor in combat. The museum will have 31,000 square feet of galleries dedicated to U.S. troops who have received the award. The museum CEO, former Navy SEAL and NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy, said the museum will focus on education as much as preservation. The building will have 5 areas dedicated to Medal of Honor winners from the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. The main gallery will be located in a central plaza under a 25,000 square foot slab of steel, which will appear to be suspended in midair. It will be supported by 5 pillars. Black Rifle Coffee is a corporate sponsor of the museum, as are the Dallas Cowboys. The museum's board also includes over a dozen major corporations and 6 Medal of Honor recipients, including David Bellavia, Patrick Brady, and Britt Slabinski. Army Staff Sergeant Bellavia was awarded the medal for clearing an entire house by himself on November 10, 2004, as a squad leader in support of Operation Phantom Fury in Fallujah, Iraq. He killed 4 enemy fighters and wounded a 5th in close quarters battle. Army Major General Brady flew and coordinated the evacuation of 51 seriously wounded men during a firefight in Vietnam in January 1968. Slabinski, a Navy SEAL chief and team leader, led a rescue team of SEALs during Operation Anaconda in Afghanistan in March 2002. Slabinski and his team flew to a mountaintop ambush site to rescue Petty Officer First Class Neil Roberts, who had fallen from the back of a helicopter. Slabinski led the team through almost constant combat against an entrenched Taliban force. Along with the board members, former presidents Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama serve as honorary directors. The museum is expected to open to the public in late 2024.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. It's themisfitnation.com to catch up on all of our episodes and also to get some of that great Misfit Nation gear. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are